Hello mates, let's eat. Buongiorno, arrivederci. Welcome to the first in a series of pasta. Pasta, or Italian food in general, is quite simple. A lot of people overcomplicate it, but if you're Italian, you keep it simple. That's not an excuse for the simplicity of this recipe, it's just a fact. This week we're doing cabbage pasta. That sounds odd, it's not, it's delicious. It's gonna have mozzarella, it's gonna have Parmesan, it's gonna have pepper, it's gonna have pasta obviously, it's gonna have, some other things. This pasta is incredibly simple to make. It should only take you about 20 minutes, but it will blow your mind with its deliciousness. Cabbage, mozzarella, I've already said that. Let's go. First things first is we're going to prepare and saute this delicious Savoy cabbage. Don't use red cabbage, don't use Chinese cabbage, don't use white cabbage, use this cabbage. The king of cabbages, my favourite cabbage, Savoy cabbage. We're going to chop this bad boy nice and fine and then we're going to saute it. Sauteing is basically cooking in butter, but it's a posh French word for it. We're only going to use the half the cabbage, and I want to take this stem or stalk out because it's quite firm. You can still use it, you just want to chop it a bit more finely so that you don't have like a really crunchy bit. I guess a bit of crunchy bit might not be bad because it's texture, but I just quite like to eat it. Whoa. Tastes like an old smoker's collar. Really bad. So I'm going to do two different styles. I've taken these outer leaves off. I'm going to chop these nice and lengthways so you get some nice big bits of cabbage, but then I'm going to chop this nice and finely. It's a bit more of the inner stuff, so it's nice to chop that a bit more finely, and then this is more kind of presentation-y. This is enough cabbage for 2 people. Half a cabbage, 2 people. So we're going to start by cooking this inner bit that I showed you. We want to cook this a little bit more because it's a little bit more tough. We want to get it nice and soft. And the outer leaves we're going to chop slightly differently. We're going to cook them for less time so they're a bit more crunchy. It's nice to have like a different combination of textures in there so that it's a little bit more interesting for your mouth. Add a bit of salt too to get it all going. Now we're going to chop these outer leaves, we're going to chop them quite finely, they're going to be nice long bits. Now the cabbage sautéed for a few minutes, we're going to add a bit of stock. And this just helps bring it a little bit more flavour and just cook it a little nicer. This has been cooking for about 5 minutes now, and we're going to add the rest of the cabbage in just to give it probably 30 seconds to a minute so it's super delicious. I'm going to add some pepper, good few grinds. Cabbage is done now. We're going to set it to one side, finish the pasta, and then we're going to bring it all together at the end. Okay, so I've just brought some water up to a boil for the pasta. I'm going to heavily season it now. People very often under-season their water, and it just means that your pasta is going to be under-seasoned. You can over-season your pasta afterwards, and I guess it will taste similar, but it's so much nicer to have properly seasoned pasta. So salt your water enough. Cook the pasta for 8 minutes till al dente. So the pasta is pretty much cooked. It's slightly under al dente, but we're going to finish it in the pan with some garlic butter, some Parmesan, and then some mozzarella. We're adding some of this starchy pasta water in here. It helps all the Parmesan and cabbage and butter all kind of come together in like a bit of a sauce. So just add a bit, then stir everything in, and then add some more if you need it. Okay, I've added a bit more water as I've gone because you want to get this kind of like silky, saucy bit with the cheese and the water and the butter. But now it's ready to plate. All that's left to do now is tear up a bit of mozzarella and put it on the pasta, add a bit more pepper, a bit more Parmesan, and you're ready to eat. Ready to eat. You're ready to eat. You're ready to eat. I'm excited, guys. Really excited. Really excited. I'm really excited, guys. Mmm. So good. So simple. So delicious. You're literally crazy if you don't try this. Cut!